Where's the full episode? There it is. Hey, I'm good at this. Oh,
Are
nope, I
you,
didn't hit
you
live. There it is. Yep. No, I got it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Thanks for tuning into the Carrie Hannah podcast. Here's your host, Bryce and Kevin.
Welcome back to the Carrie Handle podcast. That timing was better. We just recorded one earlier today. I think my timing on that intro was better. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Oh, hello. I'm here. Hi. How are you, Bryce? That was a
Well,
good
that's
timing.
good. That's good. I thought so. So let's do the responsible thing up top. Yes.
Yes, let's represent Eastern Shore Sling Company with our 10% discount.
Very
Carry
nice.
handle is the code.
It
Bryce,
is
do you have
indeed.
another one to give
I
us?
do. Hammy 3D prints. Carry handle gang. I might have to have him change that. That sounds so terrible.
Yeah.
I abhor that. Kevin,
So,
we are blessed by yet another great friend of the show,
mhm.
a lovely gentleman full of all kinds of tomfoolery and great eye for pictures. Who might that be, Kevin?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it would be Bunny Operator.
Can you imagine if we got the wrong name?
That would be horrible. Bunny Operator, welcome.
How are you, sir?
Woo!
Thank you for coming on.
What's up, Bryce, Kevin? Thanks for having me on.
Yes, absolutely. So up top, so what I will do, I've said that twice now. Try something else next time. Let's get an introduction. Let the people know who you are, and we can get into some malarkey
And tomfoolery.
and tomfoolery, of
Sounds
course.
good. I'm all about tomfoolery. How's it going, Carry On Podcast audience? My name's Jesse. Some of you may know me as Bunny Operator on the social media sphere, Instagram, Facebook, and my, distant YouTube that I pretty much put on the back burner because YouTube kind of sucks with gun stuff, right? So I've been in the industry for about 14 years or so, 14, 15 years now. Started my career in this realm, managing an FFL range, and that kind of carried over. Once I left that sphere, I ended up doing industry consulting. I work with a lot of major companies out there, like Centurion Arms is one of my favorite companies. I work with Monty and Corey out there, Roger Wang of Forward Controls Design. Some of my partners, such as Athena Precision, I've worked with them quite a bit. A Tactical, Slate Black Industries, that's the good folks, Henry and Josh at Nine Hole
Oh, yeah.
Reviews. Recently, ISMI Springs, so I've gotten a relationship with them. Very recently, I'm a Brownells affiliate, so all that stuff. So what I do a lot in this industry is I just exactly what you guys pre-course this podcast with, a lot of tomfoolery. I like to tinker with things. I experiment a lot, come up with really ridiculous ideas sometimes, but I want to try them out, see if there's anything that can be gained from it, whether it just be, the initial gut instinct of just it being dumb, or maybe we get some data out of it that maybe it'll translate to something else. And that's kind of the idea behind that. But outside of that, it's simply I want to build a community of modern gun owners. When because our generation is a little bit different from the old era of NRA generation gun owners.
Mhm.
A lot less futtery, a lot more experimenting. We kind of see this with the 3D printing community and such like that. So
Yeah,
I want to help
True.
carry that torch. Uh,
well, I will say, I mean, your engagement with your community is, I'm gonna say, unparalleled. The amount of it, every comment. I mean, anything that's worth talking about is discussed. I mean, even if you've mentioned it 3 or 4 times in the previous post, you reiterate, and you're happy to.
And that's
You
right.
are
awesome.
happy to share information, and that's not something we see a lot in this space. A lot of it felt, I hate this word, but gate kept. It feels like
Yeah.
you shouldn't know these things
If you don't know,
because of
you don't know, and you're an idiot.
right. And there's certain spheres that perpetuate that. Now, part of that is obviously instructors not necessarily wanting to give away the house, which I can respect to a point. But then when that's used in arguments and it's used from withholding pertinent information, it puts a bad taste in people's mouths, and it makes people not want to be included. It doesn't help or
It's
feed their curiosity.
Yep.
Right, absolutely. And it does create a phase of stagnant growth
Mhm.
and innovation as well. Because the longer you hold this type of information, the less people are experimenting or testing it for themselves. Because we know that in this sphere, in the firearms realm, a lot of equipment and preferences are just that, they're preferences. They're individual personal preferences based on what we need to do, what we want to do, and XYZ for whatever item that we're
Mhm.
evaluating right there. So there's not necessarily an end all be all for everyone. It's simply, well, what works best for you in that specific situation of what you're trying to do. So we fall under this mentality, the community itself. I'm guilty of this myself sometimes too, but we fall under this fallacy that it's always going to work just the way that we intend it to, and that's not true. It just simply isn't true. So it's, and at this point too, it's kind of like an old man like answer to everything too. But when people ask me a question of what should I do, and my usual response is, well, it depends, man. It's like, let's talk about it. Let's go over the options. And it might be like 45-minute long-winded conversation, but the end goal is, it's a lot of information that just got dumped onto you, but hopefully
Mhm.
it can help you decide on what specifically is best for you. Uh,
I like that.
I could not agree with that more. That's
it,
exactly what we need.
Like,
right, right,
instead of saying, "This is what you should do," you're saying, "Well, here's the options. Let's talk about it." You make
right.
your own informed
Well,
decision
and
after.
any disagreements or any conversations that we've had where I come at it from a different point of view, you were happy to flesh out anything. I mean, in terms of just exploring every option, it's very refreshing. So, in that vein, what have you been working on? I already know what you've been working on recently, but how is it germane potentially to what we're talking about? What guns have you been playing with recently? And then we'll talk about the silly gun that you always play with.
Well, as of now, too, so I've gotten to this hump of AR fatigue, and in everything in
Yeah.
this, in with what I do, and actually in general for everyone too, is everything's cyclical, and it's simply, I go through this phase of looking at what I have. Usually that comes with opening the safe and pulling stuff out to get to other things. Is I'll see something that I've forgotten about.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, like, it's like, "Oh, I forgot I had this," or I forgot I need to do XYZ on this thing.
Yeah.
So, I end up going to this, like, this side journey, this side mission.
Side quest?
Yes, the side quest, and I'm pull
Oh
that
my
gun
god.
out, and it's sitting on my counter, and I'm staring at it. It's like, "Well, what do I need to do?" So I go out and hunt for 2 different things. I hunt for modern products that might have, updated this platform,
Mhm.
particularly if you see my six-hour P series, the metal
Yep.
P series guns, right? So I've updated those recently using modern tech, but also kind of find old stuff, some of the retro equipment out there, and I'm thinking, well, is this stuff still viable for this platform? And hence we end up coming with retro mod um, configurations that you may or may not have seen on my pages and such like that. So that's what it is. And of course, it's that always comes with the after testing of, well, let's see how viable this is for my needs,
Mhm.
and if it sucks for XYZ task, is it acceptable for me to keep it in that configuration? Because if
Right.
it's a minor inconvenience, then, but it looks cool, then I'll probably just leave it as that, but
Mm.
That's
So what you're
I
saying,
like
if
that.
if an EOTech looks good on a rifle, then that's a perfectly valid reason to keep
No,
it on that rifle?
no, no,
it
that's
it
not.
if I am
That's what I'm hearing.
That's
it
not what I'm hearing.
if
Come on,
for
buddy.
that specific example that I'm using the EOTech on, if it's viable for my intended use of that, then yeah, I would root for that.
Oh,
That's why.
oh,
But, you've seen my EXP no, I'm sorry, my XPS-2-Z, the zombie reticle, right? It is
Yeah.
a ridiculous
The
optic.
me
Like, I
the
it
meme
is it is
blaster.
such a meme optic. The donut of death that you normally see, the circle dot, it's amplified by a biohazard symbol. Okay,
I
and in
remember all the Z-Max ammo
correct,
coming out, and that was when we had the TV, Top Shot too. That was,
correct,
like,
correct.
when all the TV stuff, and I think one of the 3-gun events was all zombie, right? It was a Hornady 3-gun or something?
Right,
God,
right,
that was
yeah.
forever ago.
Yeah, which was basically, it was just standard Hornady ammo with just a green ballistic tip on it, right? Yeah, the polymer insert,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's what
funny.
made it zombie ammo.
amen, amen.
Right.
Zombie, it sells.
it's I guess it's making a meme comeback, you know.
Right.
But back then, though, in that 2010-ish era, when that stuff was hot, I mean, people actually believed that. So that was the funny thing. They actually believed that that gave you extra horsepower in your abilities,
Oh my
or
god, I remember being so at the time I lived in Maryland, so the only real place, the only real ability for us to shoot is go to a gun range and hope and pray there was enough bays for us to actually shoot, because I mean they're not that big and they're not that frequent, and usually the rentals and they're crap guns, because usually in band states, I mean, at least my experience, they weren't great range rentals. So we would go in and maybe you'd get something kind of neat, but there was always a zombie night. There was always a zombie night, and you had the reactive targets, and they'd turn on the flashing lights and shit, and you get like the gooey targets that you shot, which doesn't really make a lot of sense in hindsight, because it's like 7 yards away in the pitch black, and you're probably not hitting it. So not really sure who that was for, but
Zombies.
16-year-old Bryce was very happy.
that's
A lot
exactly
of
who they catered
serotonians.
to. That's
Exactly,
really
yeah.
what it was. It was meant to be fun. It's just, folks really took that shit seriously. Shit. That's
I
really
got
what it
my
was.
I got
They
my
I don't,
start
zombie ammo. It's so
Walking Dead
awesome.
coming through the TV.
right. And I don't know if you see, but the wall behind me on your screen, it's probably widescreen here, but that is simply the desk of shit I need to touch. Like stuff that I'm working on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Products
The
being sent
desk of
over that I
shit.
need to get to. All those receipts back there are basically their stuff. Like being in the industry as a consultant, I am at 1099, so those are all trips. Those are receipts
Mm.
for my trips that I need to write off and all that stuff. But on your left, if you're looking at it, so my right, my rear right, you'll probably see a picture of a zombie. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, I saw
Yes,
that.
I
So
see it.
that was actually a target from one of the ranges that I used to work with, and
Well, that's
Oh,
so
that's
the
cool.
viewers aren't gonna be able to see this, but he has basically the target I was just talking
right,
about. Just
right.
that's so funny.
It's one of them. It was just hilarious. And we first saw that pack of targets that came through. So the audience, if you're not, I mean, obviously you can't see, but it's basically it's a woman, a well endowed woman with a very low cut top, and she's being attacked from the rear. Correct. She's being attacked from the rear by a
Yep,
zombie,
this is
and
good.
he's a target. And then there's
This
like
is
a
gonna
little
get
picture of a
clipped.
brain at the bottom corner. But I thought that target was hilarious, and I ended up framing it. So you see, it's on a frame on the wall right now, because that's just kind
Nice.
of a meme memory of that
I
era.
love that. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
that's awesome.
Well, so all right, so we've talked about what you like to do. Now let's talk about what you are doing. So AKs, and is that what you're tickling right now? I mean, I've seen the sig. By the way, the 556P or the P556, you have
Mhm.
inspired me. I didn't realize you could just pin the fucking rock and lock lowers on those. I was unaware of this.
Oh,
That was not welcome information for my pocketbook. I will have you know. So now I'm cruising gun broker for all the 556Ps I possibly can, because I don't want a 16-inch. I could do it, but I don't know. I have 16-inch AR. I think we talked about this, but like I have 16-inch AR-15s. Like
yeah.
if I want a 556 delivery device, I think AR-15s and 16-inch with a mid-length gas system's pretty good at that. When I want it to be,
Pretty
and we talked about
pretty
this
boring,
with
to be honest.
do what?
Pretty boring.
Boring. And it's allowed. I don't have to worry about fucking supply chains. I'm allowed to be bored with my guns. I have cases of magazines and infrastructure and parts. I don't fucking care. So, with that being said, maybe I want to rock an AK-102. Maybe I want to rock a fucking 550, whatever that 550. Well, I guess 553 clone, but whatever. So, I think in this civilian sphere, we have this superpower of not having to deal with any of the negatives of the
Here
infrastructure that the
here
military.
to the
Yeah.
big army's I just had a TIA. Wow.
Well, so now, one thing we do like to think about in maybe a vacuum is that, yeah, we have a lot of access to civilian calibers, which do very much influence military law enforcement procurement for ammunition and firearms. That's competition in the civilian world and the military world. I mean, they've been intertwined for a while. So whether, I mean, people want to admit that or not, it's just kind of how it happens. Now, I also think that's because competitive shooters, and I think we've talked about this before, at least definitely with Kevin, but mechanically delivering bullets doesn't change. How you effectively can press a trigger and put a bullet very quickly and efficiently into place, that's all that matters. We're not talking about tactics, and something Jeff actually was talking about was they're not they're you people think of CQB and the training all together. The person needs to have the gun handling before they can go into the shoot house. So in my mind, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it to people and delineate between the two and explain that we have way more and way better access to way better tools than military guys do. You want the M4 because it's cool, but you can make a better one. And I think that's where you get a lot of newer shooters and they're like, "Well, I just want what the military has." And it's like, "Do you know why they have that? Do you know why it's in 5.56?"
It's like the hot buzzword, you know? You say
Mil spec.
military mil spec, and
That was big in
people
2010s.
people that are not in the firearms industry, they see that on the news, on the media, they go, "Well, if the military's using it, it must be the best thing possible." In reality, it's, made by the bottom bidder and when the cheapest part seemingly possible.
Now what now let me add caveat because people like to ham on that, but it's also the bottom is a consistent bottom. It's not going to be one has a falling off gas block and one doesn't have a trigger. It's not the disparity between them is different. That just means you have a bottom of the barrel you can't be worse than. So that's how I rationalize. I don't know if that is that
That's fair. That's a fair rationalization.
It's fair. Yeah. So generally the government standards in the RFPs essentially is putting the bare minimum standards for acceptable equipment in that genre, right? So when we look at we're using AR-15s as an example. The TDP is the Colt Technical Data Package that shows all the schematics required for specs and such like that. But what the term mil spec is essentially meant to be is it's the bottom standard of what's acceptable for service. If
okay.
if if the piece of equipment falls under that, it gets rejected from service and it goes elsewhere. So in the example of night vision, we're talking about image intensifiers, so tubes for all the gooners out there that know that term. Essentially, the
Good.
civilian market does not get the actual the Omni packages, or rather the
Mhm.
actuals. They get we get the government rejects, and that those are the tubes that enter the civilian market.
Right. Now, one thing, just to call out a YouTube channel, I've never really dealt with in past watching Custom Night Vision. I've actually really appreciated their videos on the market, on the tube market, like what's going on and trying and talking about building night vision. It's been, I hate this, but illuminating. but
Illuminating.
but I really appreciate just kind of the candor in terms of, hey, this is what's going on. We get these, we make them for you. No, we don't get military ones. These are what's left over. So here you go. It's
That's
Right.
cool.
okay. Well, and then you get guys like Brassfax and Hop, and I think what they do, and I think Instagram and YouTube has made this a lot more attainable, is people realizing you don't need to be a hyper tactical cool guy to find solutions for problems like that. Now, let's circle back because I realize I autists are way out of this, but 5.56 16-inch. In this, we're talking about trying to make it, accessible and what tool for the job, right? We're in the YouTubers making it accessible for us. In that, no supply chains. If I want something shorter than 5.56, if you're playing with the Sig 550 series, if you're doing all that, what have you found in your experiment? And I've seen you experiment off and on a number of times now. Do you still end up going back? I mean, I see you end up with carry handles anyway. I know you like those anyway, Hal, but which, by the way, my FSP was inspired by yours. That's why mine has
Really?
this Unitarian rail. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yep.
awesome.
That's exactly what I didn't follow you. I just saw you on like one of my suggested YouTube reels. And it was just a bunch of your Centurion guns. I'm like, holy shit. So I don't know if you knew that, but yes.
No, I do now. Well, that's
Yeah,
humbling. That's
yeah,
humbling.
it's great stuff. So, all right, with that very, very, very long preamble, we'll start with Kevin because I think his may have changed since the last time we talked. Or not, I mean, I'm even on Discord, I would say. Because we were
Mm,
talking about 7.5-inch guns and pistons and
yeah, we were. I kind of want a 10.5. I think this is gonna
you're
be
still
my.
AR.
So
He still
I,
goes AR.
I'm AR.
Thought he
I'm
was gonna
boring.
change. He
I'm
was talking about
old.
Brins and 5.45 earlier.
I'm old.
He was so exciting. What happened?
It's an idea. It's a concept idea, but you can't find 5.45 here. So why would I get a gun in 5.45 if I can't find the ammo?
Okay, so I mean, well, it doesn't need to be in. So I guess we can have a dream gun ballistically, and then we can have a gun that shoots 5.56 because we're all adults and we know that's what we're shooting mostly of, right? So I think everybody's aware of this. Yes. Okay. Excellent. Moving on. So let's have your dream gun and then the realist gun. So Kevin, give me your dream gun. You're not worried about ammo supply and us trying to actually foot the fucking bill. Which is I know what he's thinking. He's like, I'm adding all this together.
Mm, odd. I like an
Really?
odd. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin likes an AUG. That's
I mean,
true.
the bull pump, it's slim pack, it's small anyway. It's a bull pump, so I can maneuver it. I touched one recently, and when I touched it, I mean, I haven't touched one up to that point. But when I
Mhm.
touched it, I was like, "Wow, this is wow!"
It gave you the Riz
It gave me the riz.
or the
I mean,
fizz. I think James May says it's the fizz.
the, the one I touched was in 300 blackout. So I was thinking about that. I was like, an Ogden 300 blackout. That's
Now,
actually
why would I want a 300 blackout with a 16-inch barrel though?
is. I don't think it was a 16. Well, I mean, I'm sure the one there was,
Yeah,
but
it's a 16.
I
Either that or it has
I
to be a SBR for overall length,
I
doesn't
would
it?
I wouldn't cut
Yeah,
it
I think
down.
they have an
I mean,
extension.
I wouldn't cut it down. Just have a short, like maybe 12.5, 300
I
blackout.
don't even know. They have commando barrels for AUGs, but I don't know. I don't know
I
how much
think.
shorter you can even go with those. Short of the submachine gun conversions.
They
Well, I'm
probably have
thinking
a 14-inch variant. I believe so.
That sounds
that.
closer. A
Okay.
13 or a 14 maybe?
Right,
Something
right.
like that? Okay. Alright. Well, he looks that up. Oh, Kevin, both of them are. Oh,
Yeah,
so I'll just
14.5.
okay.
Right.
Alright. Interesting. Okay. Alright. Kevin, what's your unrealistic gun? Wait, no. Oh, that was your
That was my end
the
roll.
300 blackouts where you're leaving it?
Yeah, I think that's a great cartridge. It's plentiful and
Oh, that's what changed. Oh, you just made American 7.62.
I did make American 7.62. I'm happy that you caught on to that.
I
Yeah.
wonder so for you, I wonder why maybe you should get one of those 300 blackout cranks. That'd be fun. Maybe I should.
Mm.
All right,
And then
Jesse, you're up. What are you choosing? Realistic and then not. And ballistic. Let's get creative with calibers here. Potentially. I'm going to be boring though.
Sure, sure. There's actually the commando barrel that you mentioned, a 13.7-inch. So a
I
smidge
was
even
close.
shorter, right?
Damn it.
That's about as short as you can go before it starts to interfere with the receiver. So
Right.
that
Okay,
makes
that makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. So like as of now, like where I am, I would actually still default to a Sig 553 as kind of like the gun to use.
You're not
y-
helping me here.
but I probably, and not caring about anything else, I would do that, including using their terribly brittle Swiss mags that are like
Right.
$80 a
Oh,
piece right now.
I know. I look at those and I'm just afraid of them splitting.
Right,
Oh, they're
right.
so scary.
So there's
Except
that.
for AC Unity. No. That's the HK53 Max. Never mind. Disregard. Continue.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much on the aftermarket for Swiss Sand mags. There was a gentleman back in the mid 2010 era that was making an adapter to use Magpul mags.
Really? Oh,
Yep,
wow.
he was in Canada and it was an adapter you would print. However, I've not seen anything from that. I don't know if he's still around anymore, but Yeah, that was it. But maybe with the, enhancements, or not the enhancements, but the more frequency of JDI and other shops that are importing the Swiss variants,
Yeah.
and now with the introduction of the new Swiss 55, whatever it is, that
6XI or whatever the heck. What?
well, it's
No,
the
that's
new
the old
one
one.
that right.
Yeah.
That's the old US
Yeah.
Gen variant
That
2 of the
abominable,
556.
upsetting
Correct.
thing. Yes.
Correct. And so the new SIG variant is now, they have the magwell adapter to take standard
Right.
or rock and lock Swiss mags. And
It kind of just looks like an LT.
right.
Bums
It's
me
so
out a little
it's
bit.
essentially it is the Swiss variant of the MCX.
I'm okay. So I'm gonna touch on a thing. I'm a little bummed how much backing, I'm a little bummed how SIG collectively is acting. Not just the US one, but abroad. And that's a little interesting. I'm a little bummed by that. But that's as far as I'm gonna go into that.
Yeah,
Just continue.
I'm there with you on that too. I was surprised because frankly they were operating
They
independently and acting
they
independently.
were set perfectly to
Right.
not say a fucking
Mhm.
thing and just be like, we don't make them. We don't know what you're talking about. We don't make a cross. We don't make a other thing. But
Wow.
no, they had to open their mouth. And now I don't like them either. Like, come on. That or German, was it? It was a German or no, it was Swiss internet law or whatever for that forum that they were trying to sue.
Um,
It was German, maybe. No, it
there
was
was
Swiss.
the German exportation rules or something like that. Or
But yeah, okay.
um,
Okay, so I have decided I want a G36K in 6 arc. That is that's what I want. However, I actually, now that I've said that, I actually think I could get that to work because they have AR conversion mags. And all I would need is
Hmm.
somebody to clearance out the bolt face, right?
Yeah.
6 arc. Interesting.
Oh, that would be an interesting gun. So we've had S5 Tactical on, and Bo, friend of the show, great guy. He is currently the amazing, beautiful human being responsible for making G36s available to the United States populace. By the grace of God, we love him.
Yes.
And
Yes, we do.
now I have a terrible project I must assume or must commit to. I need to
Gun.
find somebody to
Yeah.
spin me up a G36 barrel. Oh my goodness gracious. Ooh, now I might have to offer updates on that as we go. This could be an exciting, a terribly
Wow.
exciting thing. So, damn, I don't even know what the regular, I guess an AK 102. Either that or a SIG 553. I like those. Those are fun. I'm very basic. I'm not very
Well,
exciting.
well, yeah, I mean, for my regular choice, I'm always going to default to the AR-15 platform, anyways. It would
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
be
fair.
an AR-11.5 or 12.5, and that'll be it.
Yeah. That's an interesting length to talk about. We've talked about that with a couple other people, and it doesn't even really come down to much other than, holy hell, 14 and a half suppressed is long and
Yeah.
heavy and awkward. Because, yeah, it's like holding a fucking lance with somebody holding on the end of it. I mean, I see why guys are buying faux suppressors to do like transitions and shit just because it's so much more weight. I mean, it's a significant. I mean, hell, I have a 10-3 and I have one of the war comp I have a war comp on it, but I have one of the hell's it called? Well, the Warden, what
Mhm.
the blast thing. Two things. It does work actually quite well. It's like I saw a video and somebody tested at the ear and it was like 9 decibels different, which is not insignificant. And I've also seen some guys actually swear by them. But holy crap, that mount is so fucking heavy. It's insane how heavy suppressor mounts are. Just the mounts, not the tube, just the mount. I'm amazed. Have you been playing around with like the quick detach methods for any of that? Do you have a preference or do you have what can you, because Kevin and I are just now getting to the place where we're going to be getting into
Might-
suppressors.
We might get
Sure.
some cans. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I do have experience with the Surefire stuff, and there are a lot of caveats when it comes to the Surefire SOCOM attachment systems and such like that. The what you are feeling is the brunt of the steel attachment device, right? So the
Mhm.
RC2 is steel and Inconel, and now the RC3 is supposed to be all Inconel, to my understanding. Now that
RT.
right now that metal injection molding or metal
Additive
printing,
manufacturing.
correct? All this new stuff is coming out there, and there are better attachment systems depending on what you want to do, right? There's always a trade off. Surefire devices, you're supposed to use them with specific types of Surefire muzzle devices. And so war cops aren't they're not
Mhm.
great for suppression because of the port pop and all that stuff. Well, not excuse me, the not port pop, but the
The
blast that
flash
comes out.
mitigation, right?
Correct. Well, the ports at the top of the war comp that make them comp,
Mhm.
essentially,
Yep.
they blast debris and gas out back at the seal.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
So
Oh, so you're just kind of ruining the
I
seal when
always
you
heard
can.
that it was
Gotcha.
more
Okay.
of a prime. I didn't know that. I always just thought ideally you go with the brake because you have sacrificial baffles. But that's
yeah,
interesting. I did not know that.
there's that aspect too. Correct. Yeah, the break is the first sacrificial baffle up
Right.
into the first baffle. Yes, that's correct too. But the MB556 and the MB762 they have what's called labyrinth seals, and Surefire explains this on their website and such. They're the little rings at the base of the muzzle device,
Mhm.
and those are what essentially helps trap the gas in when you're using Surefire attachments. So
Oh,
the war comps don't have that. The war comp SCT and the close time flash hider, they don't have the labyrinth seals. It's no longer pinned on my Instagram now, but it used to be. I had about 6 or 7 Surefire devices showing that, and I explained the labyrinth seals there too. But since people weren't using that anymore, now that all this new suppressor tech is coming around, that post is no longer pinned. But um, so that's essentially what it is. But then to your question, now I am going to be switching everything over to the Plan B system.
That
interesting.
you Hop and a couple other people. I mean, they Reardon as a whole. It seems like that. It just seems so simple. It's the most simple. It's just relying on a certain thread pitch and mechanical. I guess I don't know design. It's very simple. It's not locking other than it threads on. It's just coarse threads effectively, right?
Right. Right. Correct. Correct. And there are other designs out there with even coarser threads. Like the Plan B design is a lot more fine compared
Mhm.
to some of the other systems that are out there, or some of the other newer systems that are being developed. It just depends on what you're doing with it. Like 556, perfectly fine with this, right? You're not going to experience major detrimental performance when using finer threads, like on the Plan B. But if you go to like Revival Defense is a great resource
Yeah,
for this. Like he is
and I
a
like their logo.
yeah, he is a he's a nerd. He's a giant nerd when it comes to the technical data, and he does all of this back end testing too. He just doesn't post about it as much
He
because
Oh,
should.
yeah,
I
he
would like
should.
that.
He will. It's the plan. I'm speaking to him about it, and he's supposed to be doing it. It's just there's a timing thing because he's a one man shop, so he's
Nope,
running the shop by himself.
unexcusable. Inexcusable. Nope. Share the data. The
Right.
nerds demand the data.
Right. So
where's the
so
data?
I've come to for the suppressing side too is usually if I see that he's doing something or he's carrying a particular product, that means it's probably something that is worth looking into.
Hmm.
Right.
That's
But
kinda how I view, like, Thoroughbred Armament and some of those
right,
other places. They're just,
right,
like, really switched on dudes, and they got they got, like, 15-1 recce builds with, like, AIM collars and shit. I'm like,
correct.
"Okay, yeah,
Correct.
I."
And if you look at it from a more macro perspective, you see
Mhm.
all these companies and their relationships that they have with competing companies, right? You see that they're all in the same circle. They're all in the
Right.
same circle of friends and such like that, and they all communicate with each other. And we've had this conversation on the side too. It's just that the shops that alienate themselves and don't work with the others, don't share information. Those are usually the ones that are they're self evicted from the community, but at the same time, they're also the ones that are probably creating designs that aren't as great as they think they are.
Interesting. I like that.
Oh, if I was feeling more spicy, I'd
Yeah.
be naming people, but
Yep.
so I've been really impressed with some of the companies popping up, like Tuna Can and Otter Creek Labs. I mean, those guys are in other companies' uh, comments talking about, man, this is the best design and this, that. And it's like, oh, well, what about you? She's like, nope, this one's better. Mine wasn't designed for that. And it's just an open sharing of information that is unprecedented. I mean, this is not how I grew up understanding or
Yeah.
witnessing the firearms community. This is,
Well, it's
we
to
could
the
talk about,
betterment in the community too.
I'm sorry.
To the betterment in the community
Oh,
to open share.
absolutely. Absolutely. Putting this on a public scale, I would say one of the only good things about social media, at least for me, other than keeping contact with long lost relatives, is
In cat
the
videos.
really good content that is coming out of the firearms media and the amount of eyes we're getting on bad content and calling it bad. And I'm happy to see that. Happy to see bad content being called out the way it is on media. I mean, it's refreshing. And people are getting bored with just flashy nonsense, and it seems like they want more driven information. Because I've said I guess I don't like entertainment. I don't what am I supposed to say instead of that, Kevin? You keep saying that sounds weird, but what do I say?
Well, you don't like entertainment, I guess.
I don't like entertainment apparently because I don't understand why I need to watch some dude mag dump into a target 5 yards away. That's really cool, and I'm sure you're having fun.
Well, it's kinda like, it's like, "Oh, you can have this shiny rock, or you can have this rock." It's like, "Why do I want the shiny rock?" Because it's shiny.
Is it
Don't they both
shiny?
do the same thing? Don't they both
Nope.
pee on the floor? Well, they do, but this one's shiny.
Family Guy references. That's good. I like that.
Mhm. Yeah. And then you put the rock in your pocket.
It's a rock in my pocket, I swear. Dude, okay, so I'm gonna mention this. I was watching Alien Planet or Alien Earth last night with my wife. Well, not with my wife. She had fallen asleep about an hour before that, and I kept getting ads. Fucking, the older men like pee pee pads. I kept getting those. And I know why, because just before that, I was talking about how I needed her to get the hell out of the bathroom because I had to go. And I was like, I can't hold it anymore. And then now every fucking time I turn on Amazon Prime, it's pee pads for men. I'm like, this is good. I'm appreciating this very much. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about before that. Why did I
Well,
even bring that up?
Alien Earth.
we're knee yeah, we're knee deep in the tomfoolery now, guys.
Oh man. Kevin, talk about something else.
Time for the shenanigans. Shenanigans.
The shenanigans, the
So we're
tomfoolery and shenanigans.
Well, we were talking about suppressors, we were talking about the open form of social
Mhm.
media and how the
Yeah,
firearms community is
I
a
think
lot more open than it used to be. Because when we grew up, it was a lot of if you know, you know. If you don't know, you're an idiot.
Mhm.
Now it's
yeah.
if you don't know, ask, and somebody like Bunny Operator Jesse will educate you and take the time to talk to you about it. Which
I think
I think we're on the edge of something really awesome with the community.
I think if you're able to find a YouTube channel or an Instagram, I think Instagram is more utilitarian for how I use it in terms of I need to find somebody's. I like being able to check in on people that I talk to on a regular basis and see what they're up to. I think it's neat because typically we're all doing something at least sort of tangentially related, or we're talking about something, or we've shared a picture and everybody's like, oh, yeah. And we have a general idea of what people are talking about. So there's a general direction. And I like that a lot. I like that I don't know. I I hasten to say there's an Instagram firearm community because the firearm community that's its own divisive thing together. But in terms of the people that I have met and talked to regularly, if they show up on this show, we talk to them and they're friends to the show. Just in general, with the exception of Jeff gracing us with his presence, which was incredible, and we loved that so very much. And every other guest, but I mean, Green Beret, it's really cool. So I'm gonna nerd out. I'm still starstruck. I love you too, Jesse, but So in general, I mean, that's kind of what I would say. Kevin really just said it best. I mean, we try to keep this show as the show for the everyman. We want it to be attainable. We want it to be palatable. We want it to not be intimidating because, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel I try to be as open and honest with everybody. I mean, on my Instagram, on podcasts, any YouTube videos that I very rarely upload.
Yeah.
It I try to be very upfront with I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just having a good time. And if I learn something, I want to share it. Like if I find a manual to a street sweeper, I'm going to scan it and I'm going to upload it
Mhm.
because I think it's super cool. How
Oh,
often do you
yeah.
get to see that? So like, or like I find an Italian made fucking or an Italian contract MG 4952. That kind of shit's neat to me. So like or nerding out about weird discontinued translucent M14 magazines. Or if I'm wanting a comparison between Surfire muzzle devices or long since discontinued Centurion arm rails and how to get them on with an FSP. And by the way, so I actually used to watch your videos, like your old YouTube videos, when my son wouldn't go to sleep. So he'd sit with me and we'd watch how to get like the old retro rails to go on FSPs and how dude, you have some fucking patience, man.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah. They definitely
Just
take
for
some
the
effort.
vibes? Oh
Yeah.
my God. So how do you start a build? When you're looking at a gun, are you just looking at your table and you go, I wonder how that part would look?
That's one of the ways, yes. I mean, it's usually starts off with, I have XYZ product and I need to use it. Let's figure out how to use it, right?
Okay.
But in general, to majority of the AR-15s specifically, or those platforms, already had these concepts thought out like a while ago, and then they just continuously evolve as I acquire new parts as they come along. Then I have to figure out how to fit
Okay.
them.
So
Right.
so it's just a snowball.
Correct. It is a snowball effect, but in general, the concepts did occur with some idea in mind. Like I've seen examples out there, and I thought, well, I would certainly like something similar to that one day, and then I so happen to get one part of that, then that snowballs into making the entire thing, right? So instead of being a smart man having multiple uppers for like one or two receivers, I have to have a receiver for every upper. It's just,
Hmm.
you know,
That's what
Interesting.
happened to
Right.
me.
So it's like you remember those universal holsters that were being pushed for a while, like
Yes.
early alien gear holsters when they were like, yeah,
Yes.
you can
Okay,
swap the
yeah.
Yeah, it
shell.
fits like 50,000 guns.
Correct. But
They all can ND.
nobody swaps the shells. Everyone just buys another holster. And it's
Yeah.
that same concept. It's like the P320s before they were,
Those don't
alluded to be
exist. We
pretty
talk about
dangerous.
P250s.
Correct. Correct. So it's like that modularity, even when I was running the early Gen 1, Gen 2s of those and finding out
Yeah.
how shitty SIG was in general, is is even then I never swapped them. I just bought another FCU to put all the parts together. So
That's
it's
what
like
I've been talking to Kevin about, and I feel really bad because I think I sold Kevin on that.
on the
Maybe.
Yeah.
modularity. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did.
he pushed it. I was in the market for a micro. Okay. I'll be
I'd
honest.
been
I
playing
I
around with him for a
carry
little
I
bit.
carry the P365 XL. That's been my everyday carry for at least a couple years now, and I like
It's
it.
no, it's been more than that.
It's
It's been
been
a long time.
yeah, and no, it hasn't indeed into me
Wrong
yet.
gun.
Oh, wrong gun.
Yours have shake awake, and sometimes the trigger springs don't work.
Sometimes. The point is I wanted a micro compact and Bryce sold me on it, but it's okay that he sold me on this, and it's kinda because I sold him on the Smith& and Wesson 2.0, and then I sold
Yeah,
mine immediately after he
yeah.
bought it.
He convinced me to buy a gun,
Hard,
and then
very
with.
hard.
By the way, the low hanging fruit was, dude, we could shoot them together and figure
That
out if
was.
we really liked them.
Yeah, that was.
Was it the day of?
I
It may
think it
have been the
was.
same day. I
"Hey,
sent him a
dude, look at my
picture.
my gun's awesome." Like, "That's great. I just sold mine at the gun shop."
Yeah, I got my acro in. I mounted it with the piece of shit plate I hate. Ripped it off and put the plastic one back on with a piece of crap optic. And I was like, look, my placeholder. And he's like, really? That's fun. This fucking guy. Now, mind you, I have a Gen 1 M&P, but it's an M&P 45, and it's my dad gave it. It was my dad's first like civilian handgun purchase outside of his previous job. And then I got it because I got him to buy it because I wanted it. And then he ended up just giving it to me because he's got other guns now. And he's like, I never wanted this.
So Jesse, do you have
Okay.
any guns that you were kind of taught into buying and you're like kind of like
No, actually, no. I'm usually the one that's pushing things onto my peers.
I was gonna, okay, so
you're the
let's flip
you're
the
the
script then.
pusher, not the taker.
What? Yeah. So
Right.
what is your most? Have you regretted? So because I have one I regret pushing, and Kevin already knows. So have you pushed any that didn't pan out or wasn't what the person wanted?
No. No,
All right.
they've all worked out. So what I do is, just from my experience behind the counter is the nice little old ladies that come in with their husbands.
J-frame.
They're correct. It's always a J frame. It's always a pink lady or something like that. And what
Mhm.
I loved to do was basically shut him up. Essentially, I was like, "Hey, I'm working with her. You just kind of go over here for now." And he would always try to interject. And I just loved emasculating him for some reason, like the dude, just to give him, hey, come on, dude, just walk away over there. Let me work with her. So this essentially, this came to like, it's like fitting specific sports equipment to the individual. So the
Okay.
process was basically taking two polar opposites. Like I'll take a Glock 17 and a PT-26, basically two polar opposites, metal, polymer, DASA, striker, and such like that. And then we would fine tune to see what their preferences are, and then get alternatives from there, alternative platforms with the similar preferences to what she chose before.
Okay.
And then we eventually whittle down to the gun that's perfect for her, and then with bonus options. So she ended up getting a Glock 17. The explanation is, well, that's probably the best gun you will shoot for yourself at this moment, but understand there's a 19 and there's alternatives out there for you to carry, which are the smaller variants with similar like that, right? And this translated to how I dealt with every newbie that came around, including my peers, right? And then
Mhm.
when I really had to push with people I worked with was when they're being cheap asses, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes the gun that fits you best is going to be more expensive than the one that you think you're going to buy, right?
You should always cheap out on life-saving equipment.
Yes,
Wait.
yes. Yes. That's the concept, right?
Oh,
And
you
and
oh,
I
oh,
have
you
to fight
don't do
against that.
that.
And I have to fight against it. And a lot of things were before the rise of ambidextrous controlled firearms were coming out for
Yeah.
pistols, right? So especially the left-handed people, HKs were basically the only thing that were available to them because they were full ambi at the time. And unfortunately, HKs at the time were $700-800 compared to the, $400 Springfield XD that they really wanted because it was on sale with the Springfield
Well, it's
package.
made in America,
Correct. Correct.
obviously.
Yes. Yes, obviously, because it's Springfield. Yes.
Yes.
That's what it is. But circling back, like, no, I don't think I've ever actually regret pushing particular guns on people, but I've been disappointed at them for not following my advice. Because now it's
Oh,
like,
okay.
well, you didn't essentially, because I volunteered to help you, but you eventually took up about an hour of my time and then you ignored my advice.
It's wasting my
Right.
time.
And then
It's just confirmation bias. They just wanted you to agree.
that's what it is. That's what it is. And then
Yeah.
6 months later, they'll come back and complain how much the gun they bought sucks.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's
that's
crazy.
really
What
what
a
it
waste of
is.
time.
Yeah, it's like, you're my friend. You're not gonna waste my time like that, homie, but I'm gonna drag you forever for this.
Oh, yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
I I feel like
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. Like I feel if I'm recommending a semi shitty firearm, regular defense AK-47, I just want to hold on to it until it's about to detonate in my hands, and then I pot it off.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin's an actual terrorist. I think he's a menace. He should
Okay.
be stopped, I
Now,
think.
there's only 3 guns that I've ever pawned off that were on this side
The fact that he continually to admit, I mean, God bless him. He's relatable. I'll give him that.
Mhm.
Just saying the thing that you shouldn't
Is it
say
my
live
fault?
on a
Is it
show.
my fault that they don't inspect them?
Wha I mean,
I don't lie to them if they ask,
I
but if they don't ask,
alright, alright,
I'm
alright, alright,
I'm not
alright,
telling
fine.
them.
I suppose technically if we're going on the morality gray zone here, still hate that game, by the way.
Mhm.
Every time I think about that, I hate that game.
Well,
I
it
hate it
just
so much
depends.
more.
If you're trying to sell as some rando and you just need to get your money back, then yeah, I understand that. But
Yes.
it if it's to your peer and you let them know
Yeah.
everything and they still
Yeah,
accept it, that's on you, dog.
that's fair. That's fair.
That's really what it boils down to at that point too. But to the AK note, from my experience and my research, I genuinely do not recommend any U.S. produced AK. You can certainly get stuff done and fit it properly from one of the various shops that are out there that understands AKs and how to do them. But
Yeah,
anything that's going to be wholly US produced, we're just not there yet. Everything is reverse engineered. They're just not there yet.
yeah. I mean, not not to be overly pedantic, but the Polish AKs and so are the Romanian AKs. Those are all reverse engineered. So eventually we can get them.
Right. Right.
Eventually.
Right.
Yeah, but
But
they've
I
had
think
years to perfect it.
that's in a lot of conflict. They had to shoot a lot of people with those shitty guns. They're not always shitty. I mean, just when they started, it's fine. You probably get it. But the point is that I 100% agree with that. Now, when I'm talking about this, I think I think this conversation as a whole, we're talking about. I have, and I'm going to self-report here. My first SBR was a Palmetto State Armory AK-104, but that's not the gun I plan on doing anything except mag dumping into trash. Well, I think I said that to you, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I
That
think you commented on one of my
that
videos because I was talking about the cheek weld, and I'm
that
like,
poor
yeah,
trash. Watch out, trash piles. Here comes Brace.
I intended for this gun. I got this gun to intend to actually try out AKs because I was thinking they're fun, they're interesting, and my favorite pattern is a 100 series 104. That is my favorite AK of all time. And I lived with that fucking ugly ass pin booster for fucking 3 years? How long have I had that? 3 years, Kevin?
Mm,
Almost?
yeah, because
That
you.
was after we started the podcast, actually. It'd have been after that.
Yeah,
So
because like
almost 3. Not quite, but almost 3 years. But I I think that's the important stipulation is I have rifles that I actually want to use, and they're things that they have big boy optics, they have big boy lights, they have good ammo. And now with me, I don't know about you gents, but I'm specifically not very tactical. So if it's a gun I'm really going to use, the ammo's probably on it. Like my ARs either have coupled mags or like a 40 because I'm lazy and I'm probably just going to pick the rifle up and use it as it is. So if I need more bullets, it's probably good that they're on it. And that's just coming from like I'm used to shotguns. So it was always easier just put the fucking ammo on the gun or like a bolt action, put it on the stock somewhere. And so that's my redneck brain going, just keep it on the gun.
mm,
So that's my short-term solution. So I don't stockpile ammo. The ammo's just on the gun, and then I use that ammo for a bit, and then I have some more mags. But yeah, that was just a weird tangent. I wanted
No,
to.
it's totally fine. There is nothing wrong with acquiring a firearm that's maybe not to the expected caliber or for use. As
I hate that you just said that.
as long
Expect
as
help.
as long as you are intellectually honest about it and use it for whatever you're going to use it for. It becomes the issue for the community and whoever you're speaking to is when you tout it as the quote unquote just as good.
Yeah,
It's not. It's just be honest about it. Like if you cheaped out, you cheaped out. I'm good with it, man. You do you,
yeah.
brother. But
I think we are slowly getting there, though. I think people are more okay with just kind of unhinged shit just for the sake of it being cool, which
Cal
I think is fine.
it's fine.
Caltech's over there eyeing us.
Yeah, just snorting fucking fat lines and making crazy guns. That's the next bunny arc we need is a RDB. When
Yeah,
is
that
that happening?
Ooh.
the Keltec RDB. Is that what you're saying?
Whatever the 5.56 one is.
I
I don't
thought
know
that
which one the
I thought it
5.56 is.
was it 556? I thought it was sensitive.
FB RDB. What?
Let me look this up.
Google. Google.
I don't
R
remember. One of them
Keltec
takes FAL
RDB.
mags or converted FAL mags.
Is that the bullpup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so My first experience with that gun was was at the shop when, they would the magazines were being sent to shops and stuff to advertise their products, and my
Right.
first one was seeing the Caltech infamous ad with the RDB on there, and the advertisement, statement was for those that would drink their own urine.
That's awesome.
Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
god.
so the
Yeah.
advertisement that they were trying to the image they were trying to portray is this is, like, rugged and
It's Bear Grylls gun.
exactly, exactly, and you can still find it. If you internet search, Caltech drink your own urine, then you'll see the ad, and it's
I
infamous, and it's freaking
I
So I
hilarious.
just need an RDB now or
Yep,
whatever gun that
and
was.
and urine, your own urine, yeah, you're good.
Wait,
Yeah, that's
uh,
good. That's good. I like that.
P
I always have that. I bring
PSA
that with me home.
PSA from someone in the medical field, please do not drink your own urine.
What it's sterile. What are you talking about? Why would you
It's
not?
I won't go too far down the rabbit hole. It's absolutely not sterile. It's
What?
horrendously bad, and please stay out of my ERs. Thank you.
Get the
P
fuck out of my ER with your pissy bodies. I saw something. It was Dan's piss jug performance was an energy drink. I thought that was pretty good. Why not
Nice.
make
Oh my god.
some of that
I
shit?
just found it.
The ad?
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on.
What the fuck is
Caltech.
this?
Caltech
For those
drink
who drink their own
own
urine.
piss. Is this the survival version? Because I know they had a. Yeah, it's the. Why didn't they make the icicles yellow?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
hilarious, right? Because he's in
god.
an Arctic environment, his eyebrows, his, eyelashes have, frost on them. It's like, yeah, ultimate rugged reliability.
Oh my god. Never mind the fact that I
I
imagine the gun is just frozen
I
shut.
I just live posted that to our Discord
It's
for
fucking incredible.
It's just hilarious considering that, Caltech is not exactly known for rugged reliability, and this is
far
the
from it.
advertisement they pushed out. Yeah, it's
Dude,
freaking
that made
hilarious.
it through countless people's hands. And they were like, "No, Johnson, you're right. This is it. This is the
Well,
one we
I'm
send."
I'm sure when they were trying I'm sure when they were sending it through, they're too busy on their, coke run.
They settled on this is fucking crazy. Well, and it's just casually in this product release, and no
Well,
one.
let me ask this since we're thinking about Caltech right now. Do you plan on getting a PR-57 just because they seem interesting? I mean, they don't work, but they seem cool.
I am not interested in the 5.7 caliber at all.
I'm not. No, 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 no.
That's fair.
To play, not shoot.
Yeah,
Play with.
just to play with. I mean, yeah, the
We're
5.7 sucks. We already
yeah.
we did another episode
We
about
keep
Mars
fidget
rifles, so
guns
we know
handy.
Mm.
we know way better calibers that never existed. They should have existed.
Well, actually, we were talking about PDW calibers earlier.
Yeah, 5.56 by 30. We're looking at you,
Well, actually, I was talking about 224 bows, but that's cool too. Then
European.
more nine hole
Mhm.
references anyway.
Yeah, that's the, experimentation and a data collection of viable practical use for those things, right? Yeah. I am not at the realm where I care enough about that. Like, to test that, like, I might have mentioned to you before, but, it's like, well, Wildcat calibers, I might have mentioned it in the Discord, but it's simply, like, when I used to carry 357 SIG as a
Mhm.
6-hour boomer back then, right? It was simply, one
Evan is squinting.
yeah, once I learned that I just could not upkeep the ammo and
Yeah.
regularly use it, then I was like,
Thank
"Yeah,
you.
I'm just gonna drop anything that's not common," and
Yeah.
hence I got rid of a bunch. I mean, I still actually have 357 SIG and the barrels for all the SIGs and the 40 cals that I had back then too. They're also here. I'm never gonna be able to get rid of them, so I probably won't.
Mm,
But
they're
yeah,
cool.
that's what happened, and that's also why I'm not diving into in the long gun world any of the calibers that we can't get. Since going back to the 545 conversation,
Right.
why
Mhm.
I opted for 556 instead of 545. Any
Right.
of the any of the unusual, not unusual, any of the com block common stuff. Like I don't
Mm,
even stockpile 7.62 by 39 anymore. I don't even shoot my Sega because of that.
yeah.
Um,
Mm,
so it's whatever our most commonly available ammo platforms that we have now is what I'm going to use, or
Right.
I'll find a way to make it work.
So in long guns,
interesting.
are you? I mean, it's been out for a while, but like 6.5 Creedmoor, are you typically sticking with more established calibers? 'Cause are you venturing into? I mean, maybe not import calibers, but like, are you looking into 6 Arc? Are you looking into 6 Creedmoor? Are you looking into any of like the updated cartridges? Not updated, but maybe not Wildcat. Just just past Wildcat. How about that?
Sure, sure. So 6.5 has come a long way since, it's its inception, and it's become more common now that you find it more. But 6.5, you're not gonna find range plinking ammo. It's still
No,
yeah,
no,
it's
you're
still
not.
a specific use caliber.
S&B's as close as that gets.
Correct, correct, and it's still gonna be expensive,
Yeah.
to do that, and for people, especially the newbies that are starting out, they find they do their due diligence on research, they just don't think about the upkeep part of it.
Yeah.
So it's
Mm.
like, well,
That it's
my
not you just buy the ammo once. You gotta
correct,
keep buying it.
correct, 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 and so I have a buddy that was very adamant, when he was looking for a hunting rifle or a bolt action. I mean,
Mhm.
well, he said it was hunting, but he really wanted to try to be an elite Call of Duty sniper, you know?
Uh,
So
360 no scope.
right, correct,
it
and he opted for 6.5 because the reports he researched were essentially saying it's a flatter round that, is less susceptible to wind bucking and such like that's what he told me. And I said, "Well, you're not gonna be able to shoot that ammo very often, man, because you are a broke ass, first off." And so it's not viable for you. You are better off getting, something chambered in 308 so you can find surplus 760 by 5.1 for cheap and just shoot that. You may not be super sniper accurate like you
yeah.
think you're going to be,
I
but you're not going to be that accurate with the match ammo anyways because you suck at shooting.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I like
The performance you're getting out of this, you're not gonna
exactly,
see.
I
exactly,
like
and the weapon platform that you picked is a hunting bolt action. You're not going to get that regardless. So it's just that being just laying down the hammer of truth to them is they're just not willing to take that. So
So in terms of
tough
6.5,
pill to swallow.
I would more have agreed with that maybe a few years ago.
mhm.
The ammo has come down a lot.
Right,
There's a
right.
lot more guns in it, and it's internationally used.
Correct, correct.
So we're quickly coming to a point where 300 or 308 and 6.5 could be used in the same
Right,
conversation.
right. No,
So,
I
I
I I
mean,
would agree with that, yeah. I would agree with
so
that.
I think that is the next one. I think 6 Arc is still kind of hypey. I still think it's an interesting round for sure, and I'm very interested in it. But that's I think is new, and that's not even really that new, by the way, anymore, which is crazy.
Mhm.
That hurts me
Right.
a little bit, but it's not new. And I think that's why because I think SOCOM was playing with 6 Arcs. I don't know if they were actually employing them, but I think they've been seen with 6 Arcs. I know they shoot 300 Blackout. I know people have been shot with that. That's used internationally. So these are these are calibers that I think we still have a little bit of a carryover from the FUD lore of if it's not it's 6.5 needs more. It's like, dude, like bullet design changes, man. Like that's how that shit happens. Yeah, no, we don't want 6.8, but we do want new ammo. Like it's not and then the other thing turns into no, I don't necessarily want to shove everything in an AR-15, but at the end of the day, we have a shitload of them and they're very modular, so there's no really real reason to not do that.
Mhm.
So when just because I mean, we've been talking about not shitting on ARs, but I love ARs. We named our podcast after after carry handles, but I think it's also an interesting conversation to like other fucking guns. I mean, it's okay. It's fun to like stuff, and I think that's where I'm getting exhausted with tactical guys telling me it doesn't make sense that whatever I'm doing the thing, and I'm like, I don't fucking care, dude. Like I have
Well,
big boy guns. I've gone to classes. I have guns that I rely on, and now I'm just kind of bored. Like I want to have fun.
Mhm.
I just thought of an analogy using cars. So you can drive a shitbox 95 Toyota Camry, for your daily driver, and it's never going to break. But you're allowed to like the Bugattis, the Hurricanes, the really interesting. You're allowed to like that stuff and maybe own one or two. But you're probably always going to use that Toyota Camry to get to and from your daily life.
Totally agree.
So, like firearms, you can like other cool guns and own them, and you might, always come back to your boring old 16-inch, 13 5-inch, 12 5-inch AR, but that's okay because that's like your daily driver. You're allowed to branch out and like cool stuff and have a
I think
daily
there's
driver.
something to be said for buying multiple platforms and trying to learn how to run them all efficiently. I'm not talking like competing. I'm talking about competently running the gun without having to look at it and guess like, wait, and if you've played with guns for more than 5 minutes and it's more than just kind of a cool thing to you, you play with guns. You reload. You check to see if that is really the most efficient way to do something. Should my arm go there or should my hand go here? Am I drawing my gun weird? Am I moving my fucking like you self-coach because you want to, because you are dedicated to the craft, because you want to know and respect the thing. So yeah, I want to. No, it does not behoove me to know how to reload an AK very quickly. No, that isn't really relatable information I'm going to need. Do I want it for my day job? Probably. Do I want it for here so I can talk about different ideas? Does it give me a different frame of reference for something? Learning and becoming familiar with ideas and concepts that are alien to the US specifically. Because I mean, we people listen to us internationally, but by and large, I mean, 90% of our audience is in the continental United States with the poor, sad fuckers in Alaska, which we love. We love our Alaskan friends.
We love you, Alaskan friends.
Well, I mean, part-time Alaskan friends. Sometimes they're in Alaska, but he's in a different country. It still counts.
Oh.
And our lawyer's still there too, so technically we like Alaska. But so shit. I don't know what the fuck was I talking about now?
Help us, buddy.
Kevin.
Help us.
What was I talking about? I was wrapping up. It was a beautiful, beautiful, cathartic look
Yes.
back on what we should look
It's
at.
okay to get stuff that you're not going to use.
There we go. Thank you.
I
It's
mean,
okay to have
you
fun.
know, yeah, I will add that as when you're making those decisions for yourself, it's simply are you willing to invest the resources and time, whatever that may be,
Yeah.
into acquiring and keeping that platform? And it's
Can
okay
you
if
afford that experiment?
correct. And then and is it going to do anything for you? Are you going to obtain anything
Yeah.
from that? Like data for us nerds that like to experiment, we mainly do it for data. And then sometimes we get rid of the guns, sometimes we don't, depending on the type of personality. Like I typically don't get rid of my firearms; they just keep stockpiling, right?
Kind of what I do.
Yep. And it's simply where that is, and and it's up to each person. They're going to do that, and where I am
I've always
is
told. Oh, continue. I'm sorry.
no, it's like where I am is I'm not willing to do that for 6.5 or 6 hours.
Right, and
I
that
understand
makes
it.
sense
Yep.
though.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I completely
and so
understand it. Yeah.
right. And see, for me, I was talking. I've talked to a couple of people about this, but I haven't until recently really been okay with the word collector. It's more I use my collection for. I hate that, but whatever firearms I do have or what I have amassed, just to be difficult, I use as a reference collection in terms of if I'm vetting concepts or ideas, or if I'm trying to talk to some random other nerd online, like, oh, no, Jesse. I like having a gun that I can pick up if he says, well, if I do this kind of reload and I pop, like it's getting down into the minutia. That's how you learn. That's how you pressure test ideas. That's how you vet concepts. And that's how you make friends and with
Right.
other nerds.
Very true.
Right. For sure.
So, all right. That was an hour. That was a long time. Jesse, we would like you to plug yourself. Where are you? What are you doing? What do you have going on? And where can the people find you? If I haven't already said that.
Well, you can find me on Instagram via bunny_operator. I'm on Facebook, but Facebook is for old boomers. So if you are an old boomer like me, feel free to go to Facebook there. And
I'm on
then
Facebook.
YouTube, that is still there. I am on X too. I'm not quite as active on those, but so most of my primary posting is on Instagram, and that translates to Facebook posts. But again, Facebook activity is kind of dead too. But we get to share photos on Facebook that we can't do on Instagram in the replies, right? So it's a different thing. I am in the various gun groups that are out there on Facebook. That's the one good thing about Facebook, right? Um, I've recently dived into Reddit, which is its own cesspool, so we won't even talk about navigating that right now.
We had somebody else talk about Reddit. We were very
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah, yeah.
Reddit.
Yeah, like, and that's just simply to understand the community that's there. Like, I get what they're doing,
Yeah. That's
and
a different place
yeah,
altogether, man.
it's
I don't Focus Trip makes it seem scary. I don't know about that world.
it's like the old forum days. So I grew up in the forum
Okay.
days of the firearms world, like where we used to
Same.
do
Pistol Forum.
exactly pistol forum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was
ARFCOM and
on the
Pistol Forum.
yeah ARFCOM, which I still don't know how to navigate ARFCOM now. But there's like
They update it and it's still unusable. It
right
doesn't matter.
right there. So there's like, back in the SIG Talk days, SIG Forum,
Mhm.
M4 Carbine, all that stuff, all the
Yeah.
big stuff. So there's that when we used to do hard write-ups and people would communicate, and there was a strong community. Foul
I
files,
remember the 10.8 one.
Yep.
That was a good one.
Yep. I think it was AK files that recently got shut down, right? So rest in peace, AK files. But it's like stuff like that. So that's what I'm used to. So it's interesting to navigate the new sphere of gun owners because I
Yeah.
get a lot of messages from the younger generation that are trying to get into it. And they're saying all these terms and shit that I don't understand. They're like, skibbity. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Holy God. You're
But I'm
telling
just
me, man.
Like,
No, and it's like they're not even that much younger than me, but
like the
I don't know
little,
what you're saying anymore.
little clap,
I
clap,
do
clap,
not, and I'm getting frustrated. I understand why people get mad. It's like, what are you fucking talking?
right.
Speak English.
Yeah, and
Jesus.
what I've taken from the younger generation is they are still falling for the bottom dollar but high advertisement for a
Yeah.
lot of things. Like I still see people,
Honey
and
bad.
yeah, there's that, yeah, and less than stellar brands. Usually the shiny stuff. I don't know why new gun owners always go for the shiniest things, right? It's always red
Well,
anno, gold,
shiny rock.
shiny. Yeah, exactly, shiny rock.
Yeah.
And they'll send me an unsolicited dick pic
Gold
type
Trump
thing.
ARs.
Yeah, they'll send me unsolicited pictures. Just the first message, not even hi leak information. They're sending me a photo of their setup. That's it, no words.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, right. I'm like,
Okay.
what the fuck, man? Like, okay,
Hi.
hi.
That's
bud.
interesting. Akin to a dick
Have you
pic,
considered talking,
Yeah.
conversing?
But my response to them is usually I will dissect the photo, I'll respond and tell them what they're doing to watch out for stuff. They don't even say anything, and then it turns out that half the stuff they were doing was wrong. So I do try to convert these conversations to positive ones for them, to learning opportunities. But man, so there's so many companies to stay away from, and frankly, I would say that if it's shiny, you should probably avoid it because it's probably made for competition or for a certain use that you're probably not going to use it for. And
Or it's from Temu and they're lying to you.
correct. Y- y- and your audience is probably a mix of experiences and such like that. But feel free to reach out to me about anything. Don't be scared. I'm pretty nice. Even
But
if you,
yeah, no, he's super blunt, but it's not personal.
yeah. Like if
Yeah,
I think
not at all.
if you send me something and I think
Constructively.
it's dumb, I'll tell you it's dumb. I'll tell you why and tell you how
It's
to
true.
fix it. Yeah. And
true.
that's
He's
it-
he's my favorite because he's down to have an argument. And Kevin knows I like an argument. I love an argument.
arguments are
I
good.
love a good argument.
Arguments
Yeah,
from solid discussion are good. And I want to also say that when I tell you something is dumb, I'm not telling you because it's just dumb. Sometimes it is, but it's because
Sometimes you're stupid, but
if the reason why you're using that particular item does not suit what you need it for, right? So you've probably seen my Holosun versus Trijicon fastener post, right?
Oh, I was gonna
No.
bring up your screw.
Right.
You're leading the charge of
Right.
correct the public service announcement for actual hardware, appropriate hardware on red dots. God
Correct.
bless you, sir.
Correct. So to the listeners that don't know this, so Trigicon uses Imperial for their measurements, right? So their fasteners are 6x32 usually with an 82-degree countersink, which is the angle of the screw head. Hollow Sun is made in China, so they are metric, 100% metric. But what they do to apply the use of their RMR pattern optics is to use 6x32, which is imperial, but they use a metric countersink, which is 90 degrees. So what that means
Well,
is,
okay.
yeah, what that means is think of a V, think of a V, the shape of a V. That is the imperial that Khan uses, and Holosun's countersink is like a fat V. So
Right.
stretch that bitch down, right? So and you
Yeah.
think about how that fastener interfaces with the optic. It's touching only a certain point of it, not the entire bore
Is that
of the
still
optic.
pinned, by the way? So people can
It's
have a
still
place
pinned,
for it.
correct?
Okay,
Correct. It's
so
still
yeah,
pinned,
Bunny
correct.
has an actual he's really good about visuals. Go to his page. It's great. Great stuff.
And this may or may not be a problem for your specific setup, depending on what you're using. But you have to understand that fasteners are the one thing that's connecting your optic to your gun. And pistols are very, very violent in their energy transfer to the optic, and that
Right.
energy is going somewhere, and they're
Mhm.
going into the fasteners that are holding your optic on. So a couple things can happen, either tolerance stacking, proper installation, or improper installation. You know, when you've seen the examples of optics flying off and hitting you in the forehead, that's probably why something's going on there. Or it could be a bad optic cut or a bad plate.
Yep.
Not all plates are created equal. Material
No.
matters. Avoid aluminum plates, but if you use them, understand that they are competition use only. They should be, and you have to change your fasteners probably every 3 to 5,000 rounds, depending on what it is.
7-Eleven Designs or
1171.
1171
Yep.
1171 Designs. I have his acro plate, which I think is the titanium plates I love. And his hardware, I don't buy any other hardware. If I have an
Mhm.
RMR, I just use his hardware.
Right.
That stuff, I mean, it's worth its weight in gold.
So, 1171's fasteners come from a TI connector.
Okay. All right. There you go. I didn't know that.
And TI Connector is a very large, well, not very large. They're a small company, but they're big in the industry of titanium production and such like that. They
Okay.
make stuff for companies outside of this industry, right? That's actually the companies that you
Wow.
should look at. Is the
Right.
big
Right.
companies
Makes
that
sense.
also do stuff for the gun world. So
Like
like
OK Industry.
correct, like
RIP.
OK, which they make medical equipment. They just happen to
Yeah.
make magazines and such like that, or they did.
Well, and now they only make medical equipment.
Correct.
RIP.
But if you look at, Athena Precision, one of the
Mhm.
affiliations, they were CNC pros. They are still a CNC pros, but Athena is their firearm specific division. But
Is that?
CNC
Oh, I didn't know that.
correct. CNC pros
So
in
I've
Utah,
talked to them independently. They're just great guys.
they're
I
good
mean, in
people.
general.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
They're
just
good people. So they make stuff for the rest of the other communities outside the firearms.
Oh,
Other
okay.
so that's what CNC pros does. So Athena was just created to focus on firearm stuff.
I
That's
did
pretty
not
much what
know
it
that.
is.
Well, okay, so I will now be a patron of theirs.
Correct.
That's good to know.
Correct. So,
Okay.
just to give you guys an understanding too, like I am very, very particular about the companies that I affiliate with because I
Mhm.
have to be able to like and use their products, and I have to be
Right.
able to explain it, right? So Athena has been great because I constantly ask them for the reasons why they did XYZ thing because of my
Okay.
background understanding of how these things work is
Mhm.
simply even things that like so optic plates, right? You can only have so much material in there before you jeopardize the integrity of the plate or the
Okay.
fasteners,
Mhm.
right? So
Right.
they use for the RMR pattern, they use the 440 fastener size, which is the
Mhm.
ZEP pattern
Right.
with
Right.
this with
Okay.
the posts essentially, and the current industry standard is 6x32, which is the standard, the current industry standard. And the reason why they opted for 440 is to keep the optic lower into the slide,
Oh, really?
Ah.
right? So because you can get away with reducing the optic height into the slide with the plate while using those posts.
With
That's
the
why you
bosses?
correct. That's why you have to use the screw posts because they're raised, right?
Okay, so
Okay.
that makes a lot of
Right.
sense.
So if deck height is what you're going for, then that's what you're gonna have to chase. But understand again, 440 screws are imperial. So if you're using
Right.
a holosun, now you're also dealing with an imperial countersink with a metric fastener, metric countersink in the optic. So
And
understand
I
that.
think your illustration, I think, is where you're going to need to be able to see that, because you can actually see, and he's done a great. I showed the angles too. God, man after my own heart. But he illustrates where the contacts are in the actual. I mean, the footprint. It's really well done. Definitely go and fuck your shit. Go look at it.
Yeah, there's a
Uh,
lot that goes into it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like jumping into the minutia. Definitely want to have you back on the show. Maybe talk about some pistol stuff next time.
Yeah.
Sure, we didn't even get into
Dive,
those yet, huh? Did we?
I know. I just
yeah.
realized that. I didn't even talk
dive,
about
dive into that.
We only talked about rifles and shit. Damn it. Oh, well, then that means you're just going to have to come back on.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Part 2 is
obviously.
fine. Part 2 is fine.
Yeah, there we go.
Part
Oh,
two,
it's
there it
fine.
is.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Love it.
All right. Well, you plugged yourself. We need to plug ourselves, and then yeah, that's it. And then I have an outro. So, wait, Kevin, plug your channel.
I do
So I can-
video game stuff. Me and Bryce do video game stuff at the Carry Handle Gaming YouTube channel. I have shorts coming up. I usually try and do about 7 shorts a week.
I'm more
So
of a jeans guy.
one for every day. Nice. And so I'm working on some stuff
Very
over
tired.
there. Yeah. And don't forget the Eastern Shores Sling Co. I know we already said it, but we're gonna say it again.
Yes, said it first. Now we'll say it again. Kevin is short selling this. He does an amazing job, and I love his thumbnails. So, and he does a lovely job of
try.
making me look like a complete boob by
make it
picking up a
easy.
grenade and then killing us after 3 hours of grinding. It's really good. I'm proud of myself.
Yep, that's actually one of the most popular ones right now. Most
That's
popular
good. I'm
shorts.
so happy for that. Just knock me down a peg or two. That's what we need. Well, gentlemen, thank you both, obviously. Kevin, always, and Jesse, thank you so much for coming on. Obviously, we'll have you back on for that part 2, and then probably another time if you'll have us. But thank you again. Thank you so much, and gentlemen, have a good night.
Have a good night. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Yeah. Hit it.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Very cool. You should like and subscribe.
On Facebook and Instagram.
And Twitter and Spotify. You should listen there too. If you
Aren't they
heard
listening
this on
to
Spotify.
this on Spotify right now?
Well, they could be, but there's also YouTube podcasts. So, all of the places.
We always forget where we post this stuff.
We don't know where this is. Thank you for listening wherever you're listening to, but you should also like the other places that we are. And
Who
then
are we and what the hell are we doing here?
yeah, I don't know how we got here. So thank you for letting us talk directly into your ear holes.
Right to the brain.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Adios.